Hello and welcome to CapacityTV. Today we're joined by Stefan Amon, who is Director of Wholesale at Telekom Austria Group. Welcome, Stefan.
Hi.
Which service areas do you think have really defined the wholesale market in 2014?
Interesting for us is that the core business, the main data services and voice services went really stable, which is an excellent base to think about where growth in the future will come from. And 2 years ago, we started to think where we came back to growth. There's this main question, is there a possibility in wholesale business to get back to growth? And we invested in a few growth areas. One of them were a field of MVNO. The second was DTH services all around, enabling mobile-only companies to offer TV services. We are digging very deep in CDN service and all the IP stuff. And it took us now 2 years where we are now in a phase where we can harvest. TV is getting more and more important for retail end customers because they want to have a mobile, they want to have a broadband interconnection, doesn't matter over which technology, and they want to have an attractive TV service. And all around offering this attractive TV service, adding content, making available on every device you're having, not only on your TV, but on your smartphone, on your internet tablet, on your computer, on wherever you're having this, and make this as seamless as possible. These are services where capacity is needed, where quality is needed, where latency is needed, and where the infrastructure we are offering are going in a new field where you can gain revenue. So it was an interesting year, not only digging or crunching numbers in the core business, but really starting earning money on different fields.
So do you think the wholesale industry as a whole is showing signs of growth finally this year?
From a global basis, it develops different on the markets, and I think everybody of us is still struggling that prices in the core business are going down. However, I think this is the challenge to really think what we can do for the future, because we can say, okay, yeah, the world is bad and prices are going down. At the end of the day, we are responsible how the prices are. So we can say it's negative, but I think everybody can influence these levels. However, technology as itself is such an enabler, and if you look to 2020 studies, to 2025 studies, and you really believe that from a business perspective, everything is going in the cloud. From a retail perspective, you need this connectivity to do online gaming. I mean, online gaming as itself is in the kindershoes. And this we still buy CDs, which is not really state-of-the-art technology. So all these services will went into the internet cloud as itself and needs infrastructure. And a lot of mobile companies are doing huge investments in LTE to be able to offer these services. And Netflix, for example, shows that with only one technology, it's very hard to survive, especially for hardly broadband needed services. And this gives us as wholesalers, I think, a new perspective in looking to infrastructure, for what end customers will need this infrastructure, and how we can make business models out of this.
How has LTE rollouts helped carriers to explore new service areas?
The basic is, and this is the good time for the wholesalers, we can connect the base stations with high broadband mobile backhauling. And this is super money. So this is the very positive part. What services in the futures you can top on? I mean, we know that the basic infrastructure of mobile is changing with signaling, with LTE, with diameter services. So these are classical wholesale services which you can put on top. However, I mean, we are starting with VoLTE trials, and all the voice service will have completely new billing model behind it when everything in the future will went into the direction of VoLTE. And I think we all have to understand in which direction it will go. where we can earn the money. Will it go in directions of bill or keep, or will it stay the model as we have, only different? I think there are a few question marks on the horizon. However, I don't think that it's necessary to answer all the questions now, because we are now going from a mobile perspective here in a completely new time frame. And don't forget that either on the fixed line side, there are great developments. So it will be the combination of technologies. And at the end of the day, even if we come from this perspective, we don't have to forget that for the customer, for the end customer, doesn't matter if it's a business customer or retail customer, it doesn't really matter which technology is behind. We are responsible to put these technology mix in the best and most cost-effective way together to offer the end customer the service which he or she or the business company is needing at the end of the day.
Great. And let's look at your partnership with American Mobile. What opportunities is that bringing your organization?
Very interesting partnership. They own us. So they have now a stake of 60% in Telekom Austria Group. And it's a very interesting perspective for us at the moment, because naturally Latin America is not the footprint which we would have looked from our own motivation. So as we are European and mainly focused in CEE, this is the region where we're strong in, where we know how the things are going and how from a cultural base it's working. However, if you then step one step behind and have a look of it, it opens you opportunities which you never thought before. And the second main thing is that Telekom Austria Group as itself, with around 25 million customers, we were a middle telecommunication operator in Europe. Not very small, not very big, but with such a huge company like American Mobile is at the end of the day, you benefit from the size. And as we know, we are in a scale business, and even from simple things like from a purchasing perspective, it adds value to Telekom Austria Group. And if you look from a wholesale perspective, as I said before, for us, a completely new market is open. We will be able in the future to offer our wholesale and B-end customers a data network which reaches from Europe over the United States to Latin America. And this is attractive for business customers as well, who have plans in South America, who are thinking of expanding in this direction. And if they get a partner where they can support you in more regions, this would help.
In terms of how plans are proceeding to deploy a fibre ring between Latin America and Europe, could you give us an update?
Believe me, we are working hard on this. But as it's a huge distance, it needs time to implement it, to have the services fixed. But we are very motivated to be ready, hopefully soon.
Thank you for joining us today on Capacity TV.
Thank you for having me.